All right, you guys. So, interesting news going down for the Cleveland Browns as it appears Joe Bitonio, offensive lineman, who was one of the spokesmen of that offensive line when we were saying it was a bunch of sabotagers up front and all of that stuff. It seems he was contemplating retirement, but there's a funny twist to it. Joe Bitonio may not be retiring, but he also may not be returning to the Cleveland Browns, as it looks like he may be looking to play football elsewhere, throwing in the towel on Shedeur Sanders and new head coach Todd Monken. We got to break this story down, man. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, hype the video. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Now, Joe Bitonio has been a part of this Browns offensive line for a long, long time. Not his best season last season. I don't think it was a good season on that offensive line for anyone last season. But it appears Joe Bitonio may be looking to play football elsewhere when the Browns thought he may just be contemplating playing football in general, not if it would be for the Browns, man. We got to go over to 92.3 for this, man, and take a listen at this. Joe Bitonio potentially throwing in the towel on the Cleveland Browns.
And that is Connor Orr's assistants of the MMQB that Joe Bitonio would make a Los Angeles Charger, and a very neat one at that. Because he wrote another piece about this.
Does he always give an example as to why? Is it a consistent reasoning outside of just the Chargers need offensive linemen?
Well, it's Mike McDaniel was on staff here when they drafted Joe Bitonio. So
we're going to the very beginning of Joe Bitonio's career to get Mike McDaniel.
Got to go back to the beginning, origin story. And I think the fact that he doesn't address the idea that it's retirement or Cleveland. He doesn't address the retirement thing at all. Mm-hmm. But so the first time we noted this was, oh gosh, it was like 4 weeks ago, and Connor put like a surprise fit for every team kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now it is in his, for 10 different teams, he put dream fits in free agency.
Yeah.
And Bitonio, Elijah Vera Tucker, and Charlie Collar, who's the former Iowa State tight end who also has been linked to the Browns. That is his dream team for the Chargers as well.
All right, so we're trying to figure out, is it because he talked to somebody with the Chargers and this is what they're telling him, or is he just coming up with these all willy-nilly?
Yes. Or, by the way, could he have talked to Joel's agent, and maybe Joel's agent doesn't like the offer the Browns are put in front of?
That's another possibility, for sure. I have a hard time thinking Joe Bitonio is going to play for somebody else if he comes back this year. I can't convince him in any sort of logical way why coming back and playing for the Browns is a great idea if he wants to win a title, though.
I mean, listen, if you're already thinking about playing in 2026, and the Browns are describing this as a transitional year,
yeah.
I don't want to say put it past, but could I fault Joel for saying, well, LA's closer to where I'm from because went to Nevada. Also, they have a chance of winning this year in a down AFC West if Mahomes is going to be in all that kind of stuff.
I wouldn't bet on them with your money, but they have a chance.
But and by the way, play for a legit head coach. And I don't mean Todd Monken isn't, but Todd Monken hasn't been proven to do diddly squat. Jim Harbaugh has done quite a bit as an NFL head coach.
He's not Jim Harbaugh is the point. I get the reasoning. Listen, if I was Joel, I wouldn't have come back this last year and given Kevin Stefanski all the respect and everything that he did there, and basically seeming like he did it as a favor to the Browns. I wouldn't have done that. I would have gone ring shopping a couple years ago, but he's obviously built a little bit different. And so if he comes out of this and his end result is he wants to go play for the Chargers, who am I to be like that's a bad idea?
Does anyone know definitively Joel wouldn't want to leave Cleveland? No. Does anyone know that he does want to leave Cleveland? It could still be Browns or retirement for Joel. I don't think this is out there by accident. Whatever the reason is, I don't think it's out there that while we've been on cruise control of either Joel's going to be a Cleveland Brown in 2026 or retire, I think it's quite purposeful that's out there. And I would say if the Browns see this coming, this would be one of the ones that I think it would have made sense and that you really could have maybe been smarter about if this ends up happening, of getting out in front of.
Does it hurt differently if it's a different team than as opposed to retirement? Because for the Browns, the answer still remains the same. He's not playing on the team next year.
Yes. Yeah. I think Joel saying, not only am I not going to retire, but I'm going to go finish my career elsewhere, I think there are going to be a lot of people really upset with the Cleveland Browns. And I think rightfully so, because if you knew this was a possibility, you could have addressed this earlier. And what I mean by that is you're not going to come out and say, well, Joel's got options and all that. But you could have put out a report saying the Browns aren't sure, even if Joel doesn't retire. And I think that's like a little thing. That's a little fan service thing that you can do through the media, through all the national guys that they constantly feed things through, or even locally here if they ever wanted to treat the beat with respect here in town. That this would be something that I think you could do that would minimize the blow for Browns fans.
Sure.
And just make sense whilst you're in the sea of disappointment of the last 2 years and the Deshaun and all this other kind of crap.
Yeah, I mean, again, obviously we'll wait and see what happens too, because if he comes out and is like, I'm coming back to the Browns, and or I'm retired, then all this just was for naught, and it just is what it is. But like, if he ends up with the Chargers, then we would have some. Hey, what happened here, guys? How long did you guys know this was a possibility? And is that why you went out and got Titus Howard, because of the flexibility? Everything else that at least comes with that conversation.
Yeah, and like, I don't know that inevitably I would be furious with the Browns.
I probably wouldn't be.
Well, because my thing would be, well, you're still going to have to replace Joel at some point in the future.
Yeah.
I think maybe it would speak to the idea of you could have done it a different way. I mean, which is just like the through line of my Browns' existence over the last 6 years is you could have done it a better way.
Yeah, they just always fumble these moments. I think more for myself, I think the reality would just be that they're obviously not signaling anything to Joel that gives him the belief that they're going to try to win anything of consequence this year. Mm-hmm. Or even make a run. Because I think Joel... it's not as if the Chargers promised you a deep playoff run here, okay? I think Joel would be looking at this. If he thought they were even an 8 or 9 win team, I bet he'd be signing up to come back in here and make sure that he had a real threat with it. But there's obviously no guarantees there.
Now, the criticism I might level at the Browns, again, getting into the idea of how you do it, is you've seen the dead cap hit coming from Bitonio and Teller for multiple years now, and at any point you could have mitigated that. And I know that they're probably going to release Wyatt, which is post June 1 and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But, Joel leaving in free agency and signing somewhere else when you could have done different cap shenanigans at any point in the last 6 months to a year with either one of those guys, it does feel like okay, well, how could this not have been avoided and opening up even more cap room going into 2026?
I mean, clearly at that point they didn't think that this was a possibility, and then obviously at some point it became a possibility. And the idea that Connor Orr has it in his articles, it is a legitimate possibility. I wouldn't be upset. I'm not upset at the Browns if this happens this way. I'm just kind of looking at it as that's an unfortunate break.
Yeah, I don't. It's kind of like the Jim Schwartz thing. Like, if it can be avoided, and I'm not talking about Joel leaving being avoided, but kind of the frustration that might come with it. If fans can be prepared for that, you have a whole department of people that should be doing that, right? Like this to me wouldn't be like, oh, Andrew Berry, like he gets this like Machiavellian thing, like, oh, he's so good, he never lets anybody know what he's gonna do, and I was like, yeah, I know he's gonna win 8 games in 2 years. So I'm a little leery at giving him credit for he's a shapeshifter.
Yeah,
Look at the way he crafts narratives. It's like he crafts crappy football teams. That's the beat on him right now. Yeah. But specific to this, there's a certain, listen, they didn't feel this way about Wyatt. They didn't. I felt Wyatt had done enough to deserve a level of respect that I don't think he got at the end. Now, in the end, I don't think every fan was in line with me about how that departure was handled. The Joel thing and not being prepared for it, it's not Joe Thomas, it's not Miles, it's not maybe even Nick Chubb, but I think it is in that conversation of just do things a little bit, just have a little bit of kid gloves with this one, because there is going to be an element of whoever you replace Joel Bitonio with, if Joel's in the NFL next year, will be directly compared to Joel Bitonio, which is probably not fair to that guy, given what Joel's done in this town.
And I wonder if they just look at it the same way as if he retires, we have the same result of needing to replace him as if he goes to the Chargers, and we have the same result of just needing to replace him.
Now, I would want to know, is this about money? Because if it's about, playing, I mean, it can't be about playing time. Joel was one of your 2 best offensive linemen last year.
Yeah, he was good.
So not wanting to pay Joel, I think, would be another. Because I imagine Joel on the open market could actually still get decent money, even with his age.
I wouldn't think this would be about money. Because, first off, they're not shy about paying money ever, and it just doesn't scream like this would be about money.
216-474-0092. Is Joel leaving the Browns on the table, and how would you react to Joel Bitonio signing elsewhere instead of retiring, as opposed to Cleveland or retirement, as we had previously thought? There's another element, and I've had this thought when we first saw it, of maybe Joel needs like a prove-it move. Right?
What do you mean?
Meaning, like, maybe Joel is on the fence about coming back to Cleveland, specifically to this Browns team.
Okay, so we need to see some sense of, hey, you're going to do 7, 8, 9 wins.
And so if you sign a Tyler Linderbaum, maybe that's a package deal for Joel.
Is that maybe all he's been waiting on, too? Is this why he needed the extra month? He needed them to go ahead and actually show them that it was going to be more than